Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores or estate sales, or sometimes I buy things from Craigslist, and I'm always trying to find interesting stuff, and I bring them home, try and find out as much as I can about them, and then tell you guys about them. Lately, I've also been doing a lot more reselling because I've kind of gotten out of being a coder, and I kind of prefer this a little bit more. I like the whole kind of discovery of history through objects rather than basically sitting down for 8 hours a day and writing computer code. It's a lot more boring. Anyway, here's what I've got for you today. I have a very nice milk glass creamer. Now, I gotta say, in thrift stores, I normally don't really go in for milk glass, mostly because a lot of the time you're looking at it, it's just not popular anymore. Like, I see a lot of the same stuff over and over again. I'll see like stuff from the 70s, the Lancaster Colony stuff or whatever. I see a lot of Anchor Hocking, and basically people just aren't really interested in it. It was a thing, it was a very big thing at the time, especially because it was glass that was being produced to look like porcelain, and that was very much a kind of a new, cool, hip thing or whatever. But not so much now. It kind of, I think the market is kind of, the opinion on it has changed, and people think that it's more of a, like, it's dated, it kind of looks kind of too old and kitschy or whatever. There's a lot of milk glass that does have, like, its collectors, obviously, and this is one of them. I thought it was interesting to pick this up. I bought it for $6, and yeah, what this is Westmoreland. This is probably the only company that I'd actually make an exception for when it comes to, like, their milk glass, because they were known for producing very nice, high quality milk glass over the course of, like, the early mid part of the 20th century. So in this case, on the base, you can see it, there we go. You can see the WG. There you go, that's pretty good. WG stamp, which is obviously Westmoreland glass, and measure it up real fast. Okay, first of all, it is, I'm going to turn this around because I need to do this accurately. About 4.8 inches, 4.75 inches. Yeah, 4.75, 4.8. It's a little bit bigger than that. It's tall, and I can't use a measuring tape. 4.5 inches across the handle, and still not doing this fantastically well. 3 inches wide ish. Now, like I said, measurement is important in this case. This is the Paneled Grape pattern by Westmoreland. $6 is actually a pretty good price for this. And if I'll just, before we get to that, so Westmoreland, the glass company, they started obviously in the late 19th century, went into till most of the 20th century, and then finally closed around 1984. Around the 40s and 50s, they did a lot of milk glass. Most of their production, in fact, was milk glass. If you scroll down with the history, again, I'll link it down in the description if you're curious about it. I have found a few other pieces by Westmoreland. I just sold the High Hob sugar bowl that I actually had, which is much earlier, obviously, than this. So it was known for its high quality decorated glass, and especially high quality milk glass. From the 1920s to 1950s, it was estimated that 90% of the production was milk glass. And they did do some carnival stuff. I haven't seen any, obviously, but yeah, Westmoreland did a lot of very nice stuff. Now, just to check, we do have a date list. Westmoreland, WG, 1940s to 1979. Fantastic, that gives us a bound. About the 1940s to 1979. Can we narrow it down any further? We can. Let's see. Here we go. Paneled Grape milk glass, 1940 to 1984. So that gives us kind of a rough kind of time. So if we know that most of the production from the 20s to the 50s was milk glass, chances are that came from that era, and it's, you know, it's about, to be honest, that's about right. 1950s design, I guess. Although this was obviously produced up until the 80s. I kind of think it's probably from around, this one's probably from about the 50s. That said, what piece is it? And here's, again, I keep saying size is important. Size can be diagnostic. And if we scroll down a bit, we can start looking at the pitchers and creamers here. The creamer here is 4.5 inches. This is 4.78 inches. Do we think that that's kind of the shape, though? Maybe? I think this looks more like this. especially in the spout. You can see the spout here is slightly different. So I think replacements.com has actually mixed this up, and this is, or at least they've probably mixed up the photos, because they're saying the mini creamer is 4.5 inches, and that seems about right for that one, but not 4.78 is like this one. I think they just mixed the photos up. Kind of why I think you've got to actually look at this stuff. And I usually am fairly confident in their measurements, but that does not entirely look like this. It has a different shape in the handle, and that height on the spout is a little bit more straight. It's not quite as curved. It matches this one, especially in the actual pattern. So let's just take a quick look here. Are you going to work? Okay, you're not going to work for me. Just internet. Okay, so again, bought it for $6. How much is it actually worth? Over to eBay. There we go. Westmoreland Paneled Grape Mini Creamer. Now you see, they've obviously looked at replacements.com, because that's a mini creamer. And it's not 4.5 inches tall. It's a little bit more than that. It's 7/8. It's, okay, it's going to be whatever it is. But you can see here, sold for $10.14 with shipping. You know, is that okay? Maybe, you know, did I do too badly on this? No, here's the problem. You see that? And it's probably hard to see in the light, but there is a very faint crack right here. You can just about see it there. And that crack was covered up by the sticker, the price sticker, when I bought it. I was highly, highly unimpressed. I was like, that is plain dirty. Value Village, obviously got this from Value Village. Like, that is very, very unfair. They didn't even mark it as is. Sometimes they do. Salvation Army definitely sometimes marks things as is if they notice damage. Value Village just, like, that is not okay. I'm not happy about it. In good condition, obviously, sells for, you know, $10 plus free shipping or whatever. This one, because it's cracked, is going to go right back to the thrift store, and I will have lost my money. I'm just, yeah. I will say overall, milk glass I still find to be very nice. I think it's a shame that more people don't like it now. I definitely give the stuff that looks interesting, or stuff that I know would be unusual, I definitely give it a second look. This, however, I'm just gonna, you know, you just gotta write it off. Like I would definitely want to check every single piece of milk glass that I find, that I consider buying, literally just to check and see, is this a pattern that I recognize, or can I attribute it to someone? And then what are the sold comps on it, because it's not worth getting otherwise. And I still thought that this was a good buy, even though I saw the sold comps weren't great, because it doesn't really cost me a whole lot to ship stuff around Canada and North America anyway. But with a crack, nah, it's nothing. So yeah, there you go. Yeah. So this is my small joyful thing for the day. I hope you guys like it as well. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.